And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a Tuesday, May 2nd. Hard to believe the first week of May is upon us here as the months just keep flying by. I don't know where time is going these days, but one day we're going to figure that question out. That's the ultimate question there here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys. Podcast.com and presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out if you like whiskey. Bangtail.com. Also, Honky Tonk Texas will be there May 19th with our good friend Randall King out there playing concert. And of course, Gentle Ben Spirits, gentleben.com, and Total Wine and Specs down here in the Houston market. Well, pleased to welcome in a lady that I had the privilege of, and the whole Backstage Pass team did back on, let me see if I can remember that day. Oh, yeah, March 14th when she made her Grand Ole Opry debut. Cassie Ashton to the program. Cassie, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. It's my honor, no doubt about it, and our privilege here to have you. Let's talk about that. I'm sitting in the audience that night, and toward the end of the show, they call this beautiful lady's name with a beautiful sound, and she's got her current single "Drive You Out of My Mind" across all the digital platforms. And you had a chance to step inside that center circle and make your Grand Ole Opry debut March 14th. Recap all that, and is it still surreal today?
It goes by so fast and so slow at the same time. So you get there, the middle of the day. I was lucky enough that they chose me for like the Opry debut where they film everything. So as soon as you pull into the parking lot, they're there with cameras and they're like, okay, now walk in the door. Now turn around. Now walk back in the door. Now go to the front desk. And so that part is like really slow, but at the same time, you're like also trying to not look too freaked out and giddy. Like, I cannot believe I'm here. And I just tried to like slowly step into the circle and go, okay, I have made it here. Now I can sing my songs and hopefully I don't black out.
I loved it too. And you had, I'll say this, man, a beautiful outfit on. Of course, I know the wardrobe was a
Thank you.
part of it too, picking the
Yes.
songs and that kind of thing. Of course, Randall King was there that night, Low Cash, and a whole bunch of other Blanco Brown, and a whole bunch of great artists there that night performing. And to see Miss Jeannie Seeley play for just a record number of times there. She's Miss Opry, as she's told me before. Stepping into it, I mean, wardrobe and song choice. Tell me how much went into those kind of thoughts, knowing it was going to be kind of paramount. The wardrobe hit on time, and the song choice was going to be very fast.
So I knew, like, from a very young age that I wanted to cover a classic country song that I grew up on in my household the first time I stepped into the circle, because I kind of wanted to show, like, hey, these are my real roots. Like, this is how I learned to sing. This is the music that I got my voice from, and so I had to sing "Help Me Make It Through the Night." Chris Christopherson. I listened to the Sammy Smith version my entire life, and so that felt just like magic. Remembering as a small child, like 9 or 10, that hey, when and if I make it to the Opry, I'm singing one of these old songs, and then for that to actually come true is crazy. And then with the wardrobe, I've been sewing since I was young,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew I had to make an Opry-esque dress that like paid tribute again, like to what the Opry is and what it has been and what it means and kind of the history of that. Next time I go in, I'll probably be in like some rhinestoned leather something, but I had to keep it classic on the debut.
No doubt. You did a fantastic job too. Love that. The energy was awesome. The crowds always sell out. What an attraction it is there for beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. So take me back here because I understand there's a one stoplight hometown. I had no idea where it was, and I wanted to look it up today, but I didn't get a chance. California, Missouri. Now
Yes.
that's a pretty cool name for a town that is out there. So the one stoplight kind of gives it all away. So country
Mhm.
music in general, did it just come naturally to you, kind of in a one stoplight town? Tell me about growing up in the hometown.
Yeah, so my mom was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. So she sings. I get my singing from her. Her mom sang, and then I basically didn't have a choice when I popped out, right? You get the hairbrush put right into your face, like sing this Reba song and don't mess up the lyrics, or you're grounded. The little big town is 4,000 people. I always
Mhm.
say 4,000 people, one stoplight, no Walmart, because I think that, like, clearly, that's my one sentence. You know, tiny, little bitty. We got a Pizza Hut if you
Yeah,
like that. But uh, my mom lived in town and my dad lived outside of town. And that at mom's house, I did classical ballet and beauty pageants and theater, and that's where I learned to sew and sing. So everything that was on the art stage side was over there. And then at dad's house, I grew up on a farm. I've been deer
Mhm.
hunting since I was 7. I shot muzzleloaders competitively for 10 years. My dad has a Harley. I have Harley. I'm daddy's little boy. So he's my best friend. So a very, very strange, weird childhood in a town that small,
Mhm.
you know, and that can kind of make
Mhm.
for some hard life lessons as a kid, being the outsider. But I knew that I always wanted to do this.
Mhm.
Always. From the very first time I realized I could pick a career. And so
Mhm.
looking back, I'm thankful that I grew up in a tiny town, with 2 sides of the coin at mom and dad's house because
Mhm.
it has really helped me in this career.
This female movement today, and we see it on the major award shows and just everything out there too. I mean, all these great names, female movement in country music is doing it for a lot of people, including myself now too, and been a fan of the industry for a long time. Heck, worked in radio for 20 years and used to play music for a long time. But this Carly Pierce and Ashley McBride, you and Lindsay L and Lainey Wilson, this is a pretty cool time to be a female country artist.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I remember when everyone, 5 years ago, every interview you would walk into, people would say, "What is it like to be a girl? What is it like to be a girl?" And they would pull out the stats, "Oh, this percentage of the top 50 is guys and this tiny percentage is girls. What does that mean?" Yada yada yada. And from the beginning, I just was like, I actually am thankful to be in this time period because for a minute it was like the Wild West for girls.
Hmm.
We didn't have kind of a template to fall into because it went away in the 90s. Women were huge and then it kind of died off,
Hmm.
and so everyone now, all of us females now, and especially the bigger ones like you mentioned, we get to like make the template for the next class and the class after that. We kind of get to make the rules and show what it is like and what it takes
Hmm.
to get that female power back.
Your music's got a little bit of everything. I love it so much, and I go back to how diverse you are. Field Party came out in 2019, and then I loved the single after that, Hopeless, at the same time.
Thank you.
But you got a little bit of everything going on in there. There's so much dynamic, so much versatility, some things that you can do. With with your voice, kind of throwback R&B groove, a little bit of soul, a little bit of rock. It's just a hell of a lot of soul in there too. I can just feel that too,
Thank
especially
you.
with this latest one out here. Talk about how you mix your sound and how you walk into the studio knowing, I'm very diverse. I got a little bit of everything, and I want to show these different sides of me as an artist. Talk about that.
I think for me, everyone listened to, at least I hope, everyone listened to a multitude of genres growing up, right?
Mhm.
Your mom probably liked something, your dad liked something else, your older sibling liked something, your friend down the street liked something else, and it just was always hitting you all the time. And for me, I always tell everyone that even though my house with my mom was classic country, it was more like power females, and that was genreless. If a female had went through struggle and came out stronger and had some grit in her voice, whether it was Stevie Nicks or Aretha or Reba or Loretta or any across any of the genres, that was what we listened to. And I think that's always impacted me is a grit and a story and authenticity more than anything. So I think that's what I chase.
Mhm.
If a song idea or a memory comes to mind and I start singing a melody or writing a lyric, and if it feels real to me and it feels like it has some guts in it,
Mhm.
like I don't like too much music to exist up here. I really like
Mhm.
for it to hit down here. And if it does, then roll with it. I'm not chasing a specific box because I feel like that would be inauthentic because everyone is
Mhm.
a mix of everything. And so I just try to be as real and then as authentic as I possibly can.
I love that too. You've done that. This latest one came out February 24th. Drive You Out of My Mind. Let's dive into this and really what a great song. First of all, I'm gonna say right now for people that haven't
Thank you.
heard it, if you haven't, go stream it across all the digital platforms. But there's some good writing, lyrics really kind of to me hit spot on, and you kind of take it on that kind of opening, get hook and get somebody's attention. And man, when y'all hit the
Thank you.
chorus, y'all really go off on this thing, and it really just totally makes a lot of sense for people, and people resonate with it in a different way. But this is a great single, and you guys have been riding some really cool momentum with this one.
Thank you. I am obsessed with this song. We wrote it like 2 years ago, and we had a kind of radio single attention in mind, and I came in with the melody, and I liked that the melody felt like dancing because I knew that if we put edgy words against that melody and then threw moaning country guitars on top, that it would be all of the yummy things put together. And I remember when I wrote it with Todd Clark, and Travis Wood, I was like, guys, if this isn't a hit, like I don't know what is. It's sassy. It sounds best in your car. And so when the label picked it as the single, they picked it because I had been playing it acoustic for radio stations and fans the year before on radio tour, and everyone was drawn to that song, and I was so excited because it was my favorite. And so when I was seeing that validated back to me every day, it was amazing. And so then when it came out and I got the same response, when it goes live is a huge deal. And to play it live, it's so fun and it's so driving. But I love that the lyric is also a very real thing. We try to cope with the things that life throws at us
Mhm.
as best we can, and sometimes the best option is to just go.
And that's what it reminds me of. Just go, no doubt about it, too. And current singles out there across all the digital platforms. We got to take a quick time out. We're going to come back and talk a lot about dates and pickup trucks, which was the Irresistible. I loved it so much. Radio single from Cassie Ashton. We'll have a little bit more there. And of course, the rapid fire coming up here in a little bit. It's kind of the Texas two step today. Charlie Reynolds coming up at 4 o'clock today, and also a great list of shows. Check out the website out there. And of course, the sportsguyspodcast.com. Some cool sports shows over the next few weeks are coming up there too as well. More with Cassie Ashton here. It is the Backstage Pass. A word from our sponsors. Hang tight. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
I feel a glass of that coming up tonight here as we're almost to get hump days tomorrow too. Bangtail Whiskey, bangtail.com. Appreciate the support they give us for the show. Also our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits, the vodka, the gin, the bourbon. Fantastic. Go by the Tasting Room in Alvin, Texas, or check them out in Houston, Texas at Total Wine and Specs. Also, May 19th, we'll be out there with Randall King at Honky Tonk, Texas, playing a big show down here in our backyard. Back here with Cassie Ashton on the show, talking all things music and then some. So let's go back to Dates in Pickup Trucks. This is really, and I use the word irresistible because I love it. It's a great song. It dropped there. Great radio single. Tell us all about this one, because this really feels like this really is a lot of playfulness in it. It's fun, and you got a lot of cool things you share in this one too. And a lot of fans really, really love this song.
Thank you. I love that song too. It is catchy. I always call it like a jingle, like a little country music, little diddly jingle. Because once that chorus hook gets stuck in your head, good luck trying to get it out. This song actually came, we were not, as opposed to Drive You Out of My Mind, we were not writing for radio singles. We were just having a good time. David Garcia, myself, and Luke Laird. Luke was playing this thing, and I had been talking to my grandma on the phone previously, like a week or so before, and she never calls really off of her cell phone. So when you see grandma's cell phone come across, you're like, is she dying? Like, what is going on? And she was giggling, which is also something she doesn't do. And I'm like, Grandma, what's going on? And she said, me and your grandpa went on a date in a pickup truck last night. And they've been together since they were like 14, when that was legal in Missouri.
It was legal.
Like last year, like last year. And I said, oh, you did? Like, what did you do? And she tells me that she made dinner and packed it in the pickup truck because it was COVID. And they rode around on old roads they haven't seen in a long time. And I was like, all right. And then you went to bed. Amen. Like, no more. Don't tell me anything else. And I was laughing because she was laughing, and it was just a strange, like, Twilight Zone version of my grandmother. And so when I was in the writing room, Luke was playing this cool guitar part. And I said, what if we write a song called Dates in Pickup Trucks? And they looked at me like I was growing green skin, because it's just like such a cliche title. But then I sang Dates in Pickup Trucks, get in my, and they were like, oh, kind of like a little throwback R&B. Our mixtapes in high school were R&B and 90s country at the same time. Let's try to hit it again. And we really just had a great time writing that day, which is why in the hook it goes, dates and pickup trucks. And it goes, all right. Because Luke in the background, when we were like recording just a guitar vocal, he would just go, all right. And then we kept it for the studio version. And it's so fun to sing live because you see all the drunk girls in the front just all right.
The video is awesome too. Check it out, no doubt about it. I also love one that you did. You put a really cool twist on this one back in 2020. Black Motorcycle. Let's break this one down, because this is another one of those songs. Great artwork on that single cover, no doubt. What was it like to put out Black Motorcycle?
That song I wrote with Luke Laird, same guy from Dates and Pickup Trucks. He's my producer. I honestly wanted to write a song about a motorcycle because I ride and my dad rides, and I've ridden since I was very small. And I wanted to get Harley Davidson's attention because I wanted a deal with them so bad. It was like on my bucket list. And so we messed around all day with a melody, and it took us an entire day just to come up with lay back on the back of your black motorcycle, like just like something chill and something kind of like that has like that pulse to it. And that song just came about because we were trying to do something cool that felt like me, that felt gritty, that felt like the sound came from an exhaust pipe and not the clouds. And then when I put the song out, I got to announce that I was a Harley Davidson ambassador. So it all worked out. I love to play it live because the bass shakes the entire stage. And my dad is just mad that I didn't say red motorcycle because his favorite motorcycle is red.
Hey, you got a great title and a great song, no matter what color you end up picking, which was Black
Yeah, thank
Motorcycle.
you.
And
Thank
then
you.
you guys really kind of transited there too to kind of put out what I thought was very a really cool song, different feel, vibe there that I got from it. But Heavyweight, let's walk through
Mm.
Heavyweight a little bit and kind of tell the audience a little bit about just another fantastic title for another great song out there too as well. And you kind of really feel something that you can resonate with too because of the title of that one.
Thank you. I had just signed my publishing deal in Nashville. This was like 6 years ago. And I was writing with Luke Laird, my producer,
Mhm.
and Hillary Lindsay. And I don't know if you know, but Hillary has Grammys. She is just like one of the most incredible writers ever. And I
Mhm.
was going to write with her and I was freaking out. Like I was freaking out. I didn't feel like I had any ideas that were good enough for this powerhouse of a woman, and I had heavyweight in my phone as like the opposite of lightweight,
Mhm. Yeah.
like when it comes to drinking. But I was like, that's just terrible. That's so terrible. And then, we're sitting there. I meet her. I'm trying not to be nervous. And she's like,
Mhm.
did you have any ideas? And I was like, oh. And I got nervous. I was like, heavyweight. And I was like, crap, crap. Like, she's going to ask me what I mean. And she did it. She literally goes, lay it on me like a heavyweight. And she's like that? And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I meant. That really just came from like two women in the room talking about, I hate when people try to sugarcoat something or think that I'm soft or that I can't handle the truth. Like
Mhm.
I'm a big girl. Like I got my big girl pants on. Just let me know and we'll get through it and I can go on with my life.
You've done some really cool things. I love the live shows. I can't wait to get to another one at some point. I mean, it definitely was an honor to see you play the
Thank
Opry
you.
too. But you got some really cool things that are heating up now, coming up this
Thank
fall.
you.
Back on tour, supporting and opening for Old Dominion coming
Yep.
up. You did that with I know Maren Morris on her girl tour last
Yep.
year. This is kind of cool. A great exposure for you, no doubt, too, to hit the road with these major artists to kind of see what they do in their acts, the way they kind of play in front of a large crowd. What's that like? And then tell me about this one coming up with Old Dominion on several big time stops.
I would have bet that these people were super nice and super chill to be around, and then you're around them and it's like double.
Hmm.
They are the coolest, nicest. Marin, I was on tour with Jordan Davis, now on tour with Old Dominion. I don't know if I've gotten lucky 3 times in a row or everyone's just this chill and this cool,
Hmm.
but the Old Dominion boys are some of the nicest, most down to earth dudes, and so their crew and everyone around them that is putting the show on every day is that same kind of person, and so it doesn't feel like work.
Hmm.
I tell people, like, big tours like this, you have catering. So you wake up, you go in the venue, you eat catering. You go work out, you maybe do something else, and you go eat catering. And then you have, like, a afternoon activity. You might go to a radio station, or you might do something with the boys. They bring puppies in or whatever, and then you go eat catering again, and then you go play for 8,000 people. Like, this is just not fair. Like,
Hmm.
what is the catch?
Hmm.
Because they're cool dudes, their fans are cool, the crew is cool, and the catering is great. So what am I supposed to what am I supposed to write home about, you know?
Yeah.
Like, as far as what I'm not getting, there's nothing. It's amazing, and I'm happy to be with them for the rest of the summer and for some dates in the fall. It's the best time.
So much work goes on behind the scenes in this industry, and I've seen it because I'm very connected to it on an everyday basis. But you got a great team behind you that supports you, Creative Nation for one, and also to Universal, great folks there.
Yeah.
Many of them that we know here on the show, and help us set up these very interviews to get great people like yourself here on the show to feature, talk about your team and some of the things the fans may not see that go on behind the scenes because it's hard to do it just as a solo artist.
Oh, yeah. Whew. I would be nothing without my team, and I think who is on your team is everything.
Mhm.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if you do not pick the right people to surround yourself with, it ain't gonna happen. And so as I was building mine, Creative Nation was obviously the first step of that. I signed with them the semester before I graduated high school. I had a lot of publishing companies after me, but with them, it felt like family, and I felt not only like they were really intelligent, really business smart, and really had a hustle about them, but I could go hang out at their house and trust them easily, and that's not something that I give out very frequently. And it just was a no-brainer to be with them. Beth and Luke, the two owners of Creative Nation, Luke being my producer, are top 5 best people I've ever met in my entire life. They just are good on the inside. And Luke is so talented. He is the other half of my creative brain. And Beth being management, and Brandon Gill is at Creative Nation, who is my manager. Those two I would do anything for. And if they can't figure it out, then I don't know who can. But also it's like not just who's the smartest, but also who would want you even if nobody else did. And also who's going to keep you sane. Because I think that there could be plenty of people who were business smart or whatever, but they push you too much, or they give you all the wrong things to keep you going, or to make headlines, or to whatever your vices are. These people would never do that. They always say that if I act up, they're going to send me back home to my Aunt Tammy so that she can make me clean her house or whatever. Like, they're very down to earth, smart people. And if I'm going to be spending time with these people and they're going to be in an inner circle, I want to love them like closer than family. And that's what they are for me. And then as far as the label, UMG was a no-brainer. That's the one I wanted, because they have a history of finding real artists and like sticking with it until everyone else figures it out. Because I feel like there are a lot of huge superstar acts that people ignored at the beginning. Eric Church didn't have his first #1 until his 3rd album. Chris Stapleton, nobody got until they did. Casey Musgraves, Brothers. I mean, it's just on and on. John Party for the longest time. And so that was a no-brainer for me. It's like, oh, look, these are creative, artist-loving, loyal people, and that's where I want to be.
You're with a great one, no doubt. And speaking of one of them right there you just mentioned, he just got his latest. He played Coachella last week, and definitely John Party, welcome to the Grand Ole Opry now, coming up here.
Yay! I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him.
It's got and people like that, of course, and the industry, as I tell people all the time, it's very broad. When you think something is so small, people talk in this industry and word gets around, as you know. And so it's just cool to see the videos, and congrats to John for that endeavor, no doubt about it. We got to take our final timeout. Going to come back rapid fire with Cassie Ashton, and we're going to talk about I Don't Go Back coming up here in just a little bit. It's one of the fantastic songs they put out in 2022. More to come here, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Coming up here in a little bit, Charlie Reynolds on the show. And of course, some more shows this week, Craig Wayne Boyd, and a whole lot more coming up this week here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight, more to come. Quick timeout.
The Bangtail Pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Cassie Ashton on the show. Makes you want to a little dancing, right? A little jingle. I like
I
the
know.
jingle.
I was like, I turned the sound on this time around. I was like, oh, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You're probably getting ideas now for another song out there too as well.
I love
Hey,
it.
let's talk about I Don't Go Back. This really came out last year. Another one that just definitely a vibrant song, and of course the fans loved it too. Heard a lot of great feedback on this one too. Some great lyrics, and again, it really showcases you as a great artist.
Thank you. I am obsessed with I Don't Go Back. You know, you're warned as an artist when you put songs out. If people say if this is a hit or if it, it does really well, becomes a fan favorite, you're gonna have to sing it. Hopefully, knock on wood, for the next 20 years. So you better like it, right? Because there are plenty of people who go, "Oh, I hate my biggest song ever. I'm so tired of singing it." I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe I could sing this for the next 20 years and not get tired of it. I wrote this song 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. It is mostly true, based on a true story. The hook is not true. I'm gonna be honest. The hook is not true. I am happily engaged. I don't have a one that got away. I don't. But a lot of people do. And I am really sorry because my dad gets cornered at the gas station. People asking about the T on this song because they know who it's about. And I feel so bad. But it's all right. Don't date a songwriter. You know what they say. I get so, I don't know why this song, for some instance, I get so warm when I'm playing out and somebody hears the intro. They literally, when they start singing along, I want to cry. There's something about, like, if they sing a fast song, you're like, okay, yeah, they're fast, it's dancing. But a sentimental song that you yourself love, and then to see them, like, be so in love with it and singing all the lyrics, I have to, like, look away because I get so sentimental. I'm singing it on the Old Dominion tour right now. And without asking, without prompt, without any prior signs, people start lighting their phones up on that song, and I just about lose it every night. Because that's like one of the dreams that, like, people don't talk about. You know, you want a number one song, you want a Grammy, you want a CMA, but they don't talk about, as a new artist, the first time a full room of people light their phones up. It just feels crazy without telling them to. Because I know some artists are like, hey, if you could light your phones up on this next one, we'll get a picture for Instagram or whatever. But when they do it and you're not expecting it, it's crazy.
It's exactly right when it just happens, kind of spontaneously too.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, we'll do a couple of fun questions to finish. I love this one. Last show or shows to binge watch. What do you get into?
Oh, it's trash TV. I'm so embarrassed. Love Island UK. Oh, and Love is Blind. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's Animal Planet. No, I'm just kidding.
Animal Planet.
It's Love is Blind.
Trash TV. That's all good there. I tell you, I got into this latest series, the HBO series, The Last of Us, which was actually really good.
Oh, yeah. My fiance watched that.
Definitely ended on a cliffhanger, no doubt about it, how they do that. And then I'm ready for this last one to come out, and then I can get rid of Netflix. No, I'm just kidding. The Cobra Kai series that's going to wrap up here, season 6, I believe it is. I was a huge Karate Kid fan growing up, and this really
that's cool.
It's about the kids now for Cobra Kai, and it's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
Some of the old stars come back and do the same thing and let the kids kind of showcase their talents out there too. So it's a lot of fun there. Just love watching. I guess. Yeah, I'm not going to make fun of anybody who watches anything out there, because if you
trash TV
to watch anything, it's a good thing there. All right, being from Missouri, any favorite sports teams you root for?
Oh, Cardinals baseball.
All right, okay.
I am a baseball girl. I love to go to a baseball game and buy every single snack that they possibly can offer, but mostly sunflower seeds, and just sit there and look at the pants. I mean, the game.
Hey,
I take my binoculars.
Hey, you are brave, my friend. You are brave. No doubt. I love you're great as a Cardinal fan too. The 90s, being down here, you see, is on my head down there, Houston Astros. So,
I love it.
Rivalry back in the day, and I still commend all the Cardinal fans. I still go back to 2011 was the last championship World Series the Cardinals won when they beat the Texas Rangers, if my memory
Yeah.
is correct. But just Albert Pujols, so many great ball players to go through there, and what a great franchise. All right, you mentioned foods now. I want to get the Cassie Ashton favorite dish to cook. What is it?
Fried deer steak.
Making me hungry right now.
I know. I could have some right now. There's some in my freezer, but
one of
it'd
my
take a
buddies,
while.
he did he got like a little small one. I say small, but he did some bison
Walmart
burgers.
sack.
Walmart sack.
That's what we call it. We just want a Walmart deer.
What a Walmart deer. He did some bison burgers on one he got at a ranch too, and those actually, if you never had bison, it actually came out pretty good. I was surprised.
So good.
Much more of a healthier option, but a lot more good stuff in that patty too as well, which is really good out there too. All right, let's do this one. If Cassie wins the lottery tomorrow, say it's a Powerball or Mega Million lottery, what's the first thing you do with the first installment?
Oh, I'd get married.
Get ready.
I'm engaged. I'd pay for my wedding. I'd pay for my wedding. Yeah. Weddings are expensive. Man, I'm gonna need the Powerball to have a wedding.
You're definitely you're right about that, no doubt. Any other favorite hobbies outside of music that you like to do?
I love to design and sew clothing. I love to ride my motorcycle. I love to thrift. I love to hang out with my dad.
Okay.
And I love to play with my dogs.
Hey, in no particular order, great hobbies there too. Hey, let me say this. It was definitely worth the wait. I was so glad to see you play the Opry. Well deserved you stepping in that center stage. You killed it that night. Myself and Kirsty were so happy to be there to see you and that whole host of the lineup that was on it too, man. They do a great job. That was my first time actually at an Opry performance. So it really,
I love that.
Extra special for me.
Hey.
Some great CRS week that week for Country Radio Seminar, which will be back in 2024. Drive You Out of My Mind is the current single. You can also check her out at CassieAshton.com. Hey, when the new music comes out, feel free to give me a holler. I'd love to get you back on. We'll do this again. Hope you had a great time.
Thank you. I did. Thank you for having me.
You got it. The one, the only Cassie Ashton out there too as well. Charlie Reynolds coming up here in a little bit on the Backstage Pass. We'll see you guys in just a blink of an eye here. Stay tuned to more at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Talk to you soon. Take care.